And we're back.
Sounds like we're going now.
Yeah, so
Crazy journey, man.
something
It's gonna happen.
something weird happened. We stopped recording somewhat into the discussion. I can't remember what. Oh, the name.
The name. Well, it's perfect. We'll pick up from here.
Yeah,
You want to do
perfect.
a quick mic check or no?
Yeah. I think the mic sounds good.
Mic sounds okay.
Mic sounds great on your end.
Great. Hello, everyone. You're lovely. You look great today, and the Lord loves you so much. Wow. Great.
So yeah. I again I don't know where we left off last time, but I'm just going to jump right into the name of the podcast. We've decided to call the podcast Consistently Inconsistent. And we have decided to call it this because our podcast is consistently inconsistent. As we talked about in the first episode, we kind of discussed how just it's going to be what we want it to be, you know? We've said that a number of times before now. But yeah, it's just going to be wherever our hearts lead it to, really. And Aidan's just looking at me.
I was going to say something, but I think you're doing a great job, so just keep going.
What do you want to say?
No, I just think an important note I want to take away from episode 1 earlier today, was, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the fact that I don't have any podcast listening experience. This is my first ever podcast. Yeah. Obviously creating, I don't have any other podcasts, but I've never listened to them. So I don't know what maybe a normal podcast maybe kind of feel like or act like. And that's the beautiful thing about consistently inconsistent, is this inconsistency.
Yeah.
Consistently. Right?
Wow. And so, and the funny, it's just, yeah. And we were walking, so we had to go and get some of the sound equipment from the office. So we were walking over to the office, and Aidan needed his waffle maker. And so we were walking over to the office, and we were just talking, and it was like, and we should, like, every episode, we should call it by like something else. Like the first episode could be like consistently inconsistent, but then the second episode could be like, oh, welcome to inconsistently consistent, or like, you know, there's just
consistently consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently inconsistent.
Exactly. There's just so
consistently inconsistent.
It's not picking you up at all, man. Not really.
At all. That's okay. I need to use the mic. I need to get in the habit of
there we
using
go.
it. You're never gonna know what it is.
No.
Basically, is the short of it.
Yeah. So that is going to be a lot of waffles.
Yep, it is. I tripled the recipe, my friendos. I tripled it. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mildred.
And so, did she just put more? Oh, okay. And so, yeah, that's the name. We hope that you like it. We hope that you continue to listen to it. We, during dinner, and like, oh man, the ideas have just been flowing. We were going to record the next episode next week, like next Monday. It's currently Tuesday. And we recorded the first episode earlier, like at lunchtime today. And then, like, during dinner, we were just having so many ideas as to what we could do for this podcast. And we were like, we cannot just record one a week. We have to record more so that we can, you know, number one, so that we can just get all our ideas out, but also so that we can continue with our consistently inconsistent nature. And sometimes, you know, maybe we'll post like 3 episodes in one day. Maybe sometimes we won't post an episode for a year.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know. It could happen eventually. Just be prepared.
I don't think it will happen until Aidan moves away, which is sad. Then we'll have to.
Let's not talk about that yet.
I'm sorry.
That's really sad. I just want to make waffles and not have to think about that. I'm tripling the recipe.
You've said that. That's your third time.
Did I say that? I told you I tripled the recipe, did I?
Oh, 4 times.
Okay, all right. Well,
and so yeah, tonight we're just gonna chat. Just gonna have some fun. Mildred, anything to say?
I'm having good crack with the guys.
For our
and I'm loving it.
For our non-European, non-Irish listeners, maybe. I mean, probably most of, I don't know, Europe would know what crack means.
Yes.
Do you want to explain that, even for our American, Canadian, South American listeners?
As we explained in the first episode, we are all part of Net Ministries Ireland. We might bring in other kind of guest stars that are outside of Net at the Bubble. But like really the most readily available people are people that currently work with Net Ministries here in Ireland. And so in Ireland, like in any culture, they have different slang. And so one of the words that they use is crack. And it basically means like fun. So they'll be like, oh yeah, we're having great crack. And it's just like, we're having great fun or something like that. Or like somebody might come to me like, hey, what's the crack? And it just means what's up. So
That's sufficient. That's a sufficient explanation.
yeah, thank you, Aidan. For those who didn't hear, maybe if we used one microphone and then the left and right audio to pick up other people.
You think?
Maybe.
Do you want to connect it?
Maybe.
Once you connect it. So what you can do is so the one that I'm in, I think I'm in 3.
Yeah.
Why don't you just press that? Just press the number 3 button
Press
and it should
3?
mute it.
Where?
No, the light. The light. See the 4 lights?
Oh yeah. Press it.
And it should mute it.
Okay. Speak into it. Oh.
So just disconnect it.
Okay.
And then turn on the left and right.
Do we need to press this one? No. Technical good difficulties. This is gonna be a weird episode.
Really weird episode.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it so far?
Good. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah. I feel like the fun episodes might need to be a bit shorter just so that we aren't just like.
Going on.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think I might have stopped recording last time because I tried to turn the left and right.
But the important thing, see, with videos, you can just be like, there can be dead air because you can just look, and people will know that if you're trying to be like awkward, kind of funny, you can just look into the camera and be like,
We don't have that luxury here, though.
no, you just
The
hear
audio.
silence.
So what do we do? What do we do then?
I don't know.
Way too much silence, bro.
Yeah, no. The most important thing about radio, from what I learned from Father Patrick, is that you can never have radio silence, because if you have radio silence, fun fact, say somebody's driving along, right? Somebody's driving along on a car, and they're flipping through radio stations, trying to find a good radio station. They're going to just stop. If they hear radio silence on a station, they're just going to skip right through it.
No way.
They do. Because if there's silence, then like they're going to be like, oh, it's a dead station.
Right, exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
But but I feel like with a podcast it's kind of different, because they'll be like, oh, there's still more to the video. So unless, like, I'll just skip forward a little bit to see if they actually continue, and if they do, then I'll go back to where I was. You know?
Like maybe eventually as well. I don't know who would want to see this, but you know Joe Rogan?
Yep.
We're still recording, correct?
Yeah.
He films his and he's got the podcast.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can just watch the video.
They do that on Ear Biscuits as well.
Ear
sometimes.
Biscuits as well. Yeah. Shout out to those guys. They're great.
Yeah,
both great
Written Link.
podcasts.
Yeah, good podcast.
They're a little too consistent for my liking, though.
Yeah, it's
I like
not,
a little bit
it's
more
not.
inconsistency.
Mm.
Consistently, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two.
Next topic of conversation is
3.
we had so many ideas,
So many ideas.
and now they're just gone.
No. They're not.
Oh,
gone.
right. Okay.
They're somewhere in the
The
recesses
deep
of our
recesses
brains.
of my brain.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna start talking about D&D, but we already talked about that in the
A little
pilot
bit, yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Maybe I could talk about waffles a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Sure.
love waffles. Waffles are great.
But see, Aidan's kind of an anomaly because he just eats them straight.
Yep. Straight off the waffle maker.
You know what you should try? Could we try putting a little bit of cinnamon in the batter?
I was actually going to do that. Why don't you hand me the cinnamon there, Patrick?
I would love to. Because sometimes people make like really good homemade pancakes. And
4 teaspoons of baking powder. 4 teaspoons. You know what that means? Times 3. That's 12 teaspoons of baking powder. I don't know if we have 12 teaspoons of baking powder, listeners.
Golden syrup. Yeah, I do enjoy things on my waffles. Although Aidan's waffles have been really good. I've been delighted with them.
Thank you.
And I haven't been eating them with anything on them. But I might try.
Yeah. definitely try something.
Yeah, I might try some
What's
golden.
1 3/4 times 3?
Oh, 5.25.
5 1/4. Great.
Yes.
So that's for milk. 5 1/4 cups of milk.
Aidan,
Listeners.
would you like to tell us about your music? Aidan loves. So you might have heard in our last episode, if you listened to that, our outro song. That was made by Aidan Jones.
That's me.
I think that's different. Would you like to tell us about your music, Aidan?
I would definitely love to, Patrick. Yeah, so I started making music last year, my first year on staff, when Net Ministries got a new synthesizer. We got a Roland Juno DS88, I think.
That's
and
quite the machine.
not quite a flagship, like it's just kind of your run-of-the-mill synthesizer. But we wanted weighted keys. We wanted something that could kind of hold its own in the worship force, you know?
Yeah.
And this thing comes, and there's a pattern sequencer mode. You can get up to 8 patterns. You can change all the beat, the tempo. You can get a bunch of different sounds. And I just started creating, and it just made sense. I've been listening to music for ages, Patrick.
Yeah.
And then what happened was I got the Novation Circuit, started making music on that, just noodling around. Eventually kind of busted that thing, and it's still a really good machine. And then I got the Electron Digitone. Shout out to Electron. They are a Swedish company.
We're not sponsored, but shout out to them for making good machines.
Definitely,
anyway.
I wish I was. We should send this.
We should.
Yes, we should send this to Electron.
We should send this to Zoom as well.
Zoom as well.
Yeah, be like, hey, we love your audio recorder.
Yes.
And we'd love a free one.
We're filming this on the Zoom H6. An extra one would be great.
Yeah, it would.
An extra one would be really nice.
We'd have 8 slots for people on the podcast.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how you'd sync them. Right? I guess you could sync them in after production.
Because the thing, easily. Because it's like in movies,
Mm-hmm.
the reason that they have the sound like the clapper is yes, to let people know what scene it is, but also the loud clap is to help sync the audio and the video, so that in post-production when they're putting audio and video together, then you can see the spike, and it's just that's where it syncs together.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to have one. The Zoom H6 is an absolute beast. We're recording on that now in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We can literally take it everywhere. We took it in the car for episode 0. We keep alluding to episode 0. I think it's been my favorite so far. It's just so creative. I don't know how that sounded. I should have had the headphones on, but that
probably
was
really delicious.
Aidan pouring milk into the batter. That is going to be so much pancakes. So wait, do you save the batter? If you don't make all the waffles.
Making them all now, man.
What?
I'm not making them all now.
No, I was gonna say. So Aidan will likely bring this to the office tomorrow and make pancakes or I keep calling them waffles.
That's okay. You can call them pancakes if you want.
But it's not. It's not the same.
I'm missing the quarter cup. I'm missing the quarter cup. Oh, I got it. Oh, sorry. I trapped the wire.
So Mildred, tell us about your experience, your first experience of Ireland. You're very when you landed in Ireland for the very first time. Tell us your experience.
So when I landed in Ireland, I was surprised to find it wet and green, just the way I had left Uganda, and I was very amazed by it because it looked like Uganda, and Uganda is green and wet like where I come from, and I was like, everything is green just like where I come from. So that was my very first experience. It was so lovely, and the people were so kind and patient, and even the drivers, how they wait on people to cross and stop, and it was just so beautiful and amazing, the patience I saw here. They're so lovely. Thanks.
Wow, thank you, Mildred. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. This is fun. I think it would be good if we got those pop, whatever those things are called.
What's up, bro?
The p for the p sound. the pop filters. That's what they're called.
Pop filters.
Yeah, it's like this thing that you put over the microphone so that when you like, then it doesn't make a hard and kind of like it kind of like
it doesn't clip.
softens. Yeah.
Does the audio? It doesn't. It would just make it better, I guess.
Yes, it
better
does.
sounding.
Yes.
Wow, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
We should definitely. Maybe Zoom can send us one.
Hey Zoom.
Or Electron. I don't think they make recording studio stuff.
Pop filters. Pop.
All right, guys. The waffle mix is close to done.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel we'll just keep chatting.
Yeah. You feel like it's going okay?
Yeah.
You think people will listen to this?
We'll see.
All right. I trust you, Patrick.
Thank you.
You're the creative force that keeps this podcast going.
No, I try.
We're on episode 2 now. We're getting up there in numbers.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what the ratings on this one are. And we'll see. It's just a tester. I feel like the setting for it is kind of like mediocre. And we didn't really come into it with any kind of plans on what we were going to talk about. I think in the future, even for the silly ones, we should kind of plan, like have topics. Just to a certain degree. So that it's not just kind of awkward.
Well, this is perfect though, because we're learning.
Yes, it's a learning
It's
curve.
a journey.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Catholic Stuff You Should Know, another great podcast. I think their first one was like 7 minutes long or something like that.
That's a pretty good.
Very short.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. It was really, I think they talked about like Carthusians or something, or stylites, something like that.
Okay.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Patrick, maybe you'd be able to share just while I mix this
Yeah.
batter. I just need to put in the baking
Okay.
powder. Maybe a little bit about your own faith experience.
My
A little
own
bit of your
faith experience.
testimony. And maybe a bit about yourself, because I know we said we were going to
Yeah, that would
just,
be good.
Yeah. How about your background?
Yeah.
And if you want to lead into the testimony,
Into
you can.
testimony. Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to mix away, but I'm listening.
Okay.
All right. I'm
Thank
here.
you. You know who else is listening?
Who?
The world and Mildred.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Wow. All right, you go. Go.
I wonder how many people will listen to this.
Dude, I don't know. That's the thing. It's gonna be a different number every time probably.
And it'd be cool if we had merchandise.
That was one of our ideas.
And then like we could do like like and share to be entered in a contest to win.
Yes,
something.
to come here and make waffles with us and be on the podcast. Like a
Yeah.
raffle.
I think we'd have to start with just Irish people.
Yes,
For that
for now.
first.
For now.
But
Yes.
when we get big, then we can open it up.
Definitely. And we can fly people out here for free. Yes, we'll live in LA.
We'll live in LA.
Nah.
No.
I like LA. I lived there for a year.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I can tell you that when I get into my introduction.
Yeah.
But
it's not his turn.
not
it's
the
my turn.
best city. Not the best city to be in, I think. The traffic is atrocious.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Too many Priuses.
You know what I saw?
What's
This was a few years ago. It was on Discovery Channel. It's a really cool concept for electric cars.
Yeah.
It's this concept that like it's by the same company or whatever it is, but basically like the way that like highways work is like you drive on and you just join this train like of cars.
A train.
Like yeah, and it's like it's all just it's because like the main cause of like traffic jams in on a highway is because like one car slows down, and then because one car slows down, another car slows down and then starts to speed up, and that whole process is just really, it makes things really slow. But if all the cars were to slow down and speed up at the same time, it would speed things up drastically.
Oh, I see.
And so it creates this train, right, where all the cars are connected, and it shares the battery, so that if like one car is low on battery, then it like transfers that all the batteries shared. And then like when you need to leave, then you just break off from the chain, and like the next car speeds up and joins the chain, and it all just makes things really run smoothly. And because it's all interconnected, then the cars, so like you wouldn't even need like lights. Because like all the cars are just flowing in this one big kind of, it does sound pretty like sketchy and like really futuristic, and like the cars would have complete control and like kill us all one day. But I like, it does sound neat.
It sounds interesting because I've thought this and I've seen this before in my experience with driving. Like one guy is slowing everyone down, and he starts, and it takes ages to go.
Exactly.
And I'm sure this isn't new information, but I guess the problem is, how do you solve it?
Yeah.
Actually, you know. Imagine a guy in the front of the line. He just gives a little. He just puts his hand through the sunroof, and just gives a countdown with his fingers, and everyone presses the gas at the same time.
I don't think that's how it would work.
No, okay. Well,
It would be.
it could work for now.
It would
maybe.
be like a self-driving car.
No, I know, but I'm saying for now.
Oh,
if we weren't to do the self-driving cars.
Okay, 3, 2, go. But like you'd have to have like an iPad or something that would like show like the speeds. Like this is the speed that we're gonna race to.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, like all cars like are kind of different at the way that they speed up and all.
I know. I'd say that's the only. I'd say that's the only downfall.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the only downfall. Other than that, it just comes down to human error.
Yeah.
We should try it someday with the net vehicles.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue. Let's hear about it.
Yes. So my story, a little bit about me. So as I said before, my name is Patrick. I think, sorry, I keep on interrupting my story, but I think at the beginning of each episode, we should probably introduce ourselves. Like, hi, welcome to Consistently Inconsistent. My name is Patrick.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different this episode, but we'll get something down,
Yeah.
and you guys
we'll
will.
have a script.
That should be the one consistent thing about these episodes: is
Yeah.
the intro and the outro.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah.
That okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, we do. Aidan has been creating music for it.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, right. So a little bit about me. My name is Patrick. I come from the smallest province in Canada. It's called Prince Edward Island. We have a population of about around 140, 150,000 people. Compared to Ireland, we are about a 12th, I think, the size of Ireland. So relatively small.
Wow, it is pretty small.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like not just population wise, but like area. Aidan, that batter's looking really good, buddy.
Thanks, bro. I know, it's exciting. Exciting times.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I come from. I talked to. Excuse me.
We're learning, guys.
It was a hiccup. It was a hiccup. It wasn't
a hiccup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was still kind of weird noise. I feel
We'll
like.
learn how to deal with that on the air.
What?
Keep going.
She felt it. So yeah, I come from, as I said in the last episode, I come from a family of 7 children, of which I'm the oldest. I have 4 younger brothers, 2 younger sisters. The next oldest from me, his name is Colby. He's actually currently doing net in Ireland as well. He's part of the road team, so they basically travel all across Ireland. Yeah, we explained it a little bit. We kind of gave a brief overview. We'll probably explain it more on a future episode where we have like Tony as a guest star or something. Tony is the executive director for Net Ireland. I suppose, let's see. I really enjoy movies. I really enjoy making movies and watching movies, and really everything about movies. I really enjoy music. I play guitar and the drums, but I play a little bit of piano, a little bit of bass, a little bit of everything really. Like I'm kind of decent at many instruments, but then quite good at, quite good at guitar and drums. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, I played basketball when I was growing up. That's a fun fact. I played for a long time. You gotta bring it here, man.
Listen to that. Listen to that, listeners. That's incredible, huh?
So yeah, I don't know what I just did. It just kind of beeped for a second. Maybe I was turning up the volume. I don't know.
We're okay.
It's still good. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I enjoy playing sport. Oh yeah. So one time I only won player of the game once. And that same day that I won player of the game, it was during a tournament. I was just like making threes like no other person in the world. I got home. This is really funny. I got home, and I had like I got like a discount, like a free pizza for winning player of the game from this pizza place, and I ate it on the drive home. And then when I got home, it was right after an ice storm. And so me and my brothers were like, we had like our backyard was kind of like a very low angle slope. And Aidan just hit the door.
I hit the door by accident.
And yeah, it was on a bit of a slope. So we were walking, like we were sliding down the hill, and then we had to try and walk back up the hill. And my brother Eli, he is, I can't remember how much younger he is than me. Hi, Teresa.
Teresa is now in the room. Teresa, you want to just say hi quick?
Hello, podcast. Oh, hello, podcast.
Hello, Teresa. Would you like to say anything about yourself?
I like waffles.
Hey!
Teresa is also from Prince Edward Island. Fun fact. Yeah, Teresa is also from Prince Edward Island, the same place as I am.
That's very true. It's a great place to be from.
So yeah, anyway, I got back from, and we were walking on the ice, and Eli was really good at walking back up the hill. And he had this
I know
little
Eli.
song. Yeah. And he'd be like, do what I do, I'm the best, or something like that, right? And he was just being really cocky
He's
about it.
taunting you.
He was. And so I'd try and get back up the hill, but I couldn't. I had to take like the weak way to get up the hill, right? And eventually, like, I was just like, oh, maybe if I sing the song like Eli does, then I'll be able to get back up the hill. So I slide down the hill, right? Like this isn't even a 45-degree angle. Like this is really shallow, like, but it was still really slippery. So I get down, I slide down the bottom of the hill, and then I'm walking back up, and I'm like, oh, I can do it too. Look at me. Just do what Eli does. I slip, and I land on my left shoulder, and I break my collarbone.
No way.
Apparently, your collarbone is like the most painful thing to break as well.
Oh, man.
And it was agonizing, and I'm just like I'm crying, and like I slide into the ditch because I slide into the ditch,
so
and I'm
much pain.
like, how am I gonna get out? Because like, I did not know how I was gonna get out because it literally felt like the bone was popping out of my shoulder.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, go and get mom. And so like my siblings run inside. Eli probably, I can't remember who it was, but
That
they go in.
punk.
Yeah, I know. So he goes inside and gets my mom, and she comes out, and she's like trying not to slip and fall down into the ditch with me. And she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get you back up this hill, but like we eventually got into the house. I was like, Mom, like it feels like like my bone is popping out. She's just like, it's probably just like you probably just dislocated your shoulder. So she's like moving it around and stuff like that. And
Dang.
and so she's just like, okay, I'll take you to the hospital. We went to the Montague Hospital. So Montague is just this little town in PEI. Charlottetown is the main town. But the hospital, like I remember a year prior to this, like literally a year and 3 days prior to this, Eli again, he jumped on my stomach from the top of the couch with his knee, and I was in the hospital for 4 days with internal bleeding.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. So Eli's just the worst. Like
That's insane.
I know. And so I go to the Montague Hospital, and when I had internal bleeding, I was in the waiting room for like 8 hours waiting to get in, and it was horrible. So we went to the Montague Hospital. I only waited half an hour this time. And so I'm waiting in the hospital, and they let me in. They're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I slipped and fell on ice. It really hurts a lot. And they were like, okay, we'll x-ray you. So they took an x-ray, and my collarbone was broken.
Flip, man.
And I had to wear a sling. Praise God, I didn't need to get surgery or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But
been a lot worse.
he was like, because you're young, then the bone should heal and should be fine. I have a chip in my collarbone, like I can feel.
I think I've seen that. Yeah, that's crazy.
You probably haven't seen it. I don't
okay.
expose my collarbones all that often,
Oh,
but you can feel it. Do you want to feel it?
Sure.
Okay.
Dang, man.
He definitely didn't feel it. Exposed. Just that awkward silence, like.
You gave me this look. You're like, what do you want me to do? He's all like wired up with the equipment. Zoom. Another shout out to Zoom.
Yeah. Who does these mics?
Behringer. Oh, dude, Behringer's so class, man.
Shout out to you guys.
I want all their semi-modular synthesizers. So cool. And they're coming out with all this Eurorack gear. Oh, so cool. Oh, I want to spend all my money on Behringer stuff.
Don't tell them you want to spend your money, because then they'll be like, oh, we won't give you free things. We'll just let you buy the things.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, I mean, is Behringer really going to listen?
Could I have a waffle?
Yeah, bro. Here.
Let me tell you.
It's a little soggy because it
That's
was
okay.
underneath another waffle.
That's okay. I don't mind. Aidan really likes throwing the waffles. While I'm eating this, you might need to talk a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
Just talk a little bit, but like while we take an intermission from me.
Sure. Yeah,
yeah.
I can talk. Yeah. So as Patrick eats his waffle, I might just tell you a little bit about myself because I don't want to forget. We might get too far into this where listeners still don't know me.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to be a thing. So my name is Aidan Jones.
The cinnamon was such a good idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really good?
It's really
I
good.
haven't tried any yet. I'll try the next one. Ooh, it's golden brown, man. Oh my gosh. So my name is Aidan. I am 22 years old. I was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is a pretty great state. I'm a Packers fan. I'm a cheesehead. Did you not know
I should have taken the bet.
What bet?
Dennis didn't say, "Hello, my name is Dennis," and I was born.
I know. I was really bummed. I looked at you and like snapped my finger because like, dang, he didn't say it.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Anyways, yeah, we'll get him next time. I was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and when I was about 3, our family moved to Chicago for about 6 months.
Okay.
I think it was for my dad's work, and then we moved to Minnesota, which was the end goal because my mom's family is there. So we moved to a house right across from my grandparents, and they lived on the lake, so I had direct lake access growing up. I was homeschooled. I mentioned that in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
And life was just really good growing up. I really enjoyed it. I don't have any crazy collarbone breaking stories. I've actually never broken a bone. And I think I attribute that to how much milk I drink. Shout out to Ireland for the great dairy.
I drink so much milk is the funny thing. Like even as a kid, I've always drank so much milk.
I don't know what happened.
I can never be an astronaut now.
Oh, bummer. That was one of the job description.
I know. The Facebook quiz. What? Because the prerequisite for being an astronaut, because the G-force is so strong. Well, I might be. No, I don't think you can. You're not allowed to have broken a bone because it might like re-break it. It's like I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think the batter's sweet enough, man. I think it could use a little bit more sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. What do you think? It's kind of just plain.
I think it's good.
But it's so fluffy. Oh.
But I might put some golden syrup on the next one.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about myself. I love making music, like Patrick mentioned before.
Yeah.
I love making waffles. I actually like reading. I'm reading at the moment. Slow reader, but still making it.
What are you reading?
I'm reading a book called Father Elijah by Michael O'Brien.
Such a good book.
It's actually really, really, shout out to Michael O'Brien. Really good book. And I'm just pouring. Can you hear me still?
If only you could. Yeah, I can hear you. But like you,
waffle.
like if you could see what I'm seeing, it is true talent. He was pouring waffle batter while speaking into the microphone
while eating a waffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a good setup, I think.
Shout out to Zoom.
So after this whole collarbone breaking experience, so that's just a fun little story that I thought I'd share. I don't know.
Thank you for
why.
sharing
Oh,
that, yeah.
basketball, yeah.
Yeah.
I also snowboard.
Mhm.
The year after this,
Patrick, what happened? What happened?
March is not a good month for me. I'm always wary of March. But I was snowboarding with my friend Sam. Oh no, this is a different time. So this time I sprained my wrist basically. I was like trying to do a rail thing, and I slipped out and sprained my wrist. And this was like the night of like. Yeah, this is the night of the massive chrism, and it was like ultra serving, so I like had to. Oh, it was horrible. But we then a couple of years later, then I was snowboarding with my friend Sam. That's a good one. And I think I prefer the soggier ones.
Actually,
Yeah,
you want me to make the waffle soggy for you?
yeah.
You want me to take that back?
No,
Or
I'll
you
eat this one.
Okay, all right.
But this was like we were there for like literally half an hour. What? Okay, we were there for half an hour, and we were like, let's hit the mega jump, and so
Uh-oh.
yeah. So this was again after an ice storm, right? So like the slopes were slippery that day, my friend. And so like Sam is really good at snowboarding. He jumps off, does like a 360. And I'm like, wow, how am I going to top that?
Okay, all these injuries come from you trying to top someone, which isn't healthy, Patrick.
No, because see, like, I'm a mediocre snowboarder. So, but because like in snowboarding, you have to like challenge yourself, right?
Image is everything in snowboarding.
You have to get better. like I don't want to just stay complacent. We talked about this in the last episode, brotherhood. Like I don't want to just stay.
So
like
Sam was like
when he does something, then it was just like, oh, like, you know, automatically my brain is like, what can I do? You know,
Beautiful,
like,
yeah.
and it can be bad, but I think also like it can be good in some ways.
But you can't let it go to comparison.
No, no,
you might have been
true.
comparing yourself
Yeah.
to him a little bit.
I don't remember what my brain was at.
That's okay. Keep going. Sorry.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the best that I can do. I'm probably not gonna attempt a 360 or a backflip or anything. I'm just gonna go down the hill without slowing down and then jump off. Normally I'd carve, so like I'd go from side to side, and then I'd hit the end, and then I'd just kind of ride off. I wouldn't like jump off the end of the ramp or anything. But this time I was like, I'm going to just go straight down the hill, hit the mega jump, and jump off. And this is after an ice storm. So I'm going down so fast. I've never gone this fast on a snowboard before. I'm terrified. And then the change in slope from going downhill to uphill threw me off so poorly. Like it was horrible. Like my whole equilibrium was just completely thrown off. So I just like, is that your waffle?
No, he wants to hear it, Mildred. I got this one for you. He likes the soggy ones. That's why I gave.
It's too late. It's in her mouth. So I go off and my equilibrium is thrown off, and then I jump, and so like I'm upside down like 25 feet in the air. and it was really cool for like about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Well, I guess the
some
last
crazy hang time.
Okay, it wasn't 30 seconds. That's an exaggeration. It felt like 30 seconds. But then, like, eventually I realized that I was upside down in midair, and I landed on my back. And I couldn't breathe for, like, a minute. Like, I was so scared. And Sam was already, like, halfway down the hill, and he, like, looks up
He's
at me.
still doing 360s back and forth.
And he looks up at me. He's just like, Patrick, are you okay? And I was like, that's me not being able to breathe. That sounded so funny.
I need to sample that.
Yeah. And so I can't breathe. So he like takes off his snowboard, runs up to me, and the dudes on the chairlift, like because the chairlift is right next to the mega jump, and so the dudes on the chairlift are just like, you gotta get out of the way, people are gonna land on you. Like it's like, oh crap. So like I like move off to the side, and Sam comes up, and I'm like he saw that I couldn't breathe. Finally I take like a gasp of air, and then I couldn't breathe for another 30 seconds. So, like, I make it down to the bottom of the hill after finally regaining my breath. And he's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't want to, like, because he gave me a free ticket. And I was like, I don't want to waste your free ticket.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, but, like, because I was scared that, like, it had re-triggered the internal bleeding.
From Eli.
Yeah. Because, like, that kind of landing, that impact, and, like, you know, like, I was feeling pain in the same area, like, my stomach. And so I was like, I don't, like, if this re-triggered something, then, like, that would be pretty bad. So I was like, I don't want to waste your free ticket, but I think I need to go to the hospital. So we're like, Sam's like, okay. So we get in the car, we pack everything away, we get in the car, he starts driving. And I call my mom, and I'm just like, hey mom. She's just like, hey, how's snowboarding? I was just like, we're on the way home. I took a pretty bad fall, and I think I need to go to the hospital. And mom's just like, no, Patrick, please no. And so we get home, and I'm lying down, and eventually my mom takes me to the hospital, and I wait at the waiting room for 8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours. Again, Charlottetown Hospital. Like,
Charlottetown.
Horrible. Finally, I get let in, and the guy's like, yeah, you seem to be fine. Don't snowboard for a week, and yeah, you'll be all good. So I was like, I wasted.
You might have just gotten the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah. So it was horrible.
8 hours, man.
Yeah.
For that, you
So-
probably healed up completely in the 8 hours.
I've had some pretty horrible experiences.
I'm really sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good.
We can hear more about him later, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, my life has been good.
Good. Yeah, my life's been good too. I can share more about my life later, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to hear something now. Unless you have a specific question. Or
Well,
listeners, do you have a question?
I was just gonna kind of finish up by saying, like, after I graduated high school,
Mm-hmm.
so I was homeschooled for the majority of my life, but then grade 10, which is when high school starts in PEI, I went to high school, grade 10, 11, 12, finished high school, went to NET in Ireland at the age of 17, turning 18.
Great.
Did a year of Net Ireland in Waterford. Finished that. Did a year of Holy Family Mission in Waterford. Finished that. And now I'm on Net staff.
In Ballybuffet.
In Ballybuffet. However, I was on team for 3 months in Cork. But now I'm back on staff. So life has been crazy, but God has been working.
Thanks for sharing that, Patrick. That was class.
You're welcome.
I just want to give a shout out to Mildred here. She helped me make the waffles and cleaned up all the dishes. She did not have to do that. I was ready to clean the dishes after. But Mildred is such a servant. She's got such a servant's heart. So
she does.
What else did you want to hear, Patrick?
Do you really like the cinnamon?
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
The cinnamon tastes really good. I added a good amount, and I figured I would have to get some cinnamon in each of the waffles.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
We're at 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Smokes.
Plus the time at the beginning, which we can't remember how long it was recording.
It was a minute and a half.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. We don't have to put that in.
Yeah.
It was just kind of chillaxing.
Yeah. But it says we have like 49 minutes left of recording time.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think it adjusts based off how much memory the thing's actually taken up.
Oh, okay.
You know, because it's 64 gigs.
Yeah.
SD card.
Yeah.
So then if it takes up less room, then it adds time or takes away time.
Okay. Oh, that's
so
handy.
I don't think it's just straight an hour of recording time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know. I'd say we could probably finish up. This has been a pretty chill episode.
Sure, yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to assure you, listeners, if you've made it to this point in the podcast, it's kind of a miracle. I think.
I honestly.
They've been very patient with us.
The first half was rough. I think we just need to like talk for a while.
Yeah.
To get used to like talking to a microphone. They can't hear that.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Never mind. Keep going. Yes.
But because like the second half of the podcast always seems to be where the
magic happens.
The good stuff happens.
Well, I wanted to assure them because from my personal point, we can talk about this later, Patrick, as the executive directors of Inconsistently Consistent.
I thought, yeah.
What?
Never mind.
But, you know, we will have topics. We will have topics that we will talk about next time. So it's not just going to be like we are doing introductions and I was making waffles. That was kind of fun. That was one of our ideas. So we're just like, let's just go for it now.
Yeah, let's just make waffles and do a podcast.
It was really fun. But like, don't worry. It will not be as just random next time. Yeah. I think we can both agree on that.
I think we can.
How does that sound?
Well. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That one had like really good butteriness.
Which one?
That one that I just ate.
The waffle? Yeah. This one that I'm holding right now is perfect. And guess what I've been doing, listeners? And Patrick, this is for you as well. I've been dipping each of the individual pizza-like waffle sections in the batter, in the waffle batter, and eating it. And it's amazing.
It's so bad.
Why?
You're probably going to get the coronavirus.
What? What is the...
Check your privilege.
That has nothing to do with anything. All right, well, I guess we can close it off.
Yeah.
And you know what? I also realized that before eating this, I didn't pray. So we should probably end the podcast in a nice long prayer. Just
beforehand, you know what would be a great T-shirt idea?
What?
Like put a waffle on a T-shirt. Like have like a logo of a waffle with consistently inconsistent. You definitely said inconsistently consistent.
That's exactly what I meant to say.
Same. Yeah, that would be a really cool T-shirt design. A waffle with the words consistently inconsistent.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would buy that shirt.
I totally would buy that shirt.
Even if this wasn't our podcast, I would still buy it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
maybe something on the back, maybe like a quote that we have or something on the back.
What would the quote be?
That might be tacky.
I think the quote should be, check your privilege.
Yes, that's awesome. Maybe the waffle could have eyes and a face, and then it could be a little speech bubble next to the waffle, and the waffle is saying, check your privilege.
Yeah, man. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But each T-shirt design would have like a slight difference because it's inconsistent.
Yes, maybe a typo or something.
Yeah.
Or a different color. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you want to end us off in a prayer?
Yeah, let's do it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Holy Spirit, I commend each and every one of our listeners to our Blessed Mother, your spouse, and I just pray that you bless this podcast, give us 1 million listeners, and help us to be as inconsistently consistent as possible. And Jesus, we just love you. We thank you for Waffles and fellowship and Mildred doing the dishes and all the people we met today. And just bless all of our days and our listeners. We love you. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys so much for listening to episode
Should we cue
2
the outro music?
of Consistently Inconsistent. Cue the outro music.
The bam. Shazam.
Abracadabra.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick.
Of course. Thank you.
I could record that.
I would love to. Kira, do you want to say anything before we...
Some long outro music, man.
Yeah, it
Should we
is.
cue it now?
Yeah.
Or should we cue it when you first said to cue it?
We could cue it now, but then it could
I think it's going to decrease trust in
Yeah.
our listener.
Oh, okay.
base.
Cue it.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Bye now.